Yes, it is I, the Midnight Tuber, heading into the million, trillion, bajillion dollar studio right now to give you all this content. Okay. So apparently Flacco just said, like, Bricc Baby and Luce Cannon missing. Nobody know where they are, allegedly. I'm only going to speak on this from the topic of if allegedly is true. If they're not just running this for content. So, like, get that out the way now. There's always the possibility that it's that, just to keep their name relevant, because they locked up. When someone's locked up, they always try to keep them relevant. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see Gucci Mane locked up. They start dropping tons of Gucci Mane music. Gucci Mane dropped, like, more albums while he was locked up than he was out, I'm pretty sure. Because what they have Gucci Mane do is just go in the studio, record the moment he touches down, because they know if he leaves the studio, the motherfucker gonna get into some problems. This has been said by his team or previous members of his team. So when rappers are locked up, there's a lot they try to do to keep them relevant. So I'm thinking this could be that. But at the same time, one thing that happened, I haven't watched the full Flacco video, but one thing that happened is Luce Cannon calls his girl, they on the phone, and then he puts Bricc Baby on the phone. Just understand, y'all who ain't been to prison, y'all probably might not understand this. That's illegal in jail. You cannot do that. You cannot put someone up, like, I almost got a fucking I'm shocked I didn't. And I think it's only because of how my mom did it. And they knew probably if they tapped the call that my mom ain't know better. But basically, when me and my wife was both locked up, we had happened to call my mom at the same time. And she put the phones together over the house phone. So I could hear her and she could hear me. That's illegal. You can get in a fucking Class A, Class B ticket situation over that. You could lose phone privilege, all type of shit. I can't remember if it's Class A or B, but I feel like it's the Class A because they look at that as security threat behavior. Because what that's commonly used for is to get at people who maybe are in the world being extorted, other type of things, you know, or to call someone who you have an order of protection with. That's what has been really common with a lot, is having someone, you call someone you don't have an order of protection with to call someone that you do, and then try to extort them, whatever the case, threaten them, whatever, intimidate them, whatever. So when I seen that and I heard allegedly they're missing, you can't go missing in prison, bro. When someone goes missing in prison, you know what happens? It makes the fucking news, especially if you're Bricc Baby. Because that means you went on the run. You somehow escaped. That's not called going missing. It's called escape. So, that's the first option. That's the more logical of the options if they're not just running this for content. Is that because there was a phone call with Luce Cannon that says, this is Ashley, when you pick up the fucking phone or whatever, because you have to say your voice, and a way a lot of people get around that is when they say, so enter your speak your name for security purposes or whatever. They'll either enter an alias or they won't say shit more commonly. Like, I would do an alias. I'd be like, man, bundles. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people just do, like, they'll just say nothing, and so that way they can, like, sell their fucking they can sell their phone slot, like, because you get 6 calls a day. Some people will sell, like, okay, I'll sell you 3 calls a day on my shit for this amount of commissary, whatever. It's a very common hustle in there. So when those people do that, they'll usually just have nothing on the intro. So that's definitely a possibility, because even if it's a Class B and he has to go DR for that, which is disciplinary remedy, they're going to say, okay, loss of phone for 25 days, loss of phone for a month, loss of phone for however long. And so basically that would happen. She wouldn't be able to hear from him. without physically visiting the jail. And a lot of times what they'll do is just to be a dick, is if it's someone who's on your visiting list that the three-way call happened with. And when I say three-way call, I'm not saying like someone literally hit flash or whatever and then hit the other number. No, I mean like it could be that. It could be as simple as, like I said, what happened with me and my wife, where you have two phones in the world. One is on the jail call. And what the thing with me that made it real bad is it's two different correctional facilities. If you think about it, that you're doing a three-way call with. So it's like it could have looked like this is a multi-facility organization. This is a security rest group trying to organize something between here and Niantic. You know, that's how it could have looked. Thank God it didn't. But I had people really thinking like, yo, he might catch a Class A over that, because they're going to look at it as correspondence. You're not supposed to be able to contact other people in other facilities. That's what correspondence means. So like if you send a kite from here to, let's just say, Niantic or Big Cheshire, you send a kite from Robinson or Enfield to Big Cheshire, something like that, that's correspondence. You can't do that. That, I'm pretty sure, is a definite Class A. And it's also a way for you to get your security risk group designation if you do certain things while you're doing that. And your level get raised to a 4, you go to Northern. You know, and you start SRG phase out. So, basically, I don't know what exactly happened, but I know that three-way call, and then allegedly being missing, they're probably just in SEG. If it's not just they running a play. Like I said, you can't go missing in prison, bro. That's not called going missing. That's called escape. It's called absconder. Anyway, so at the least it's called Class B, out of place. And that's if you're like in the mess hall when you're supposed to be in the fucking dorm. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like for those of you who don't know the difference between Class A and Class B is, Class B is no seg. It's just like loss of privileges. Class A is, you know, just you're going to seg. Like Class B too is a lot of things where they'll overlook it. Like gambling, it's Class B. They overlook it as long as it's done in a way that looks good for the camera. Meaning you don't just have all the commissary you're betting out. No, you wrap it in like a tan shirt and you make it look like you're just drying the tan shirt over the commissary. Another one is contraband. Like they would find contraband on me all the time. As long as it's not like a shank or something, or drugs. Drugs is a Class A, because that's no longer contraband. That's possession of drugs. That's a whole different ticket. But just like how popping dirty is Class A. But so I think that's the more logical, if this is a real situation, what's going on. So they got wrapped up for at least a Class B with that three-way call, which what they're going to do, they might not seg them up, but they're going to say, lost the phone. You can't call nobody for a month. You know what I'm saying? That would be a common thing that would happen if you did that. The fact that they're gang members makes it a little trickier, and that cell is definitely bugged. And probably so are several of your personal belongings. The guy who shot up the Meek Mill concert out here, you know how they got him for that? They bugged the CD player they gave him on commissary. Just listen to this. They literally took apart the clear little CD player you get. Somehow put a fucking listening device in it. So like, I forget if he was hooked up to headphones, they would hear what he was saying, or like at all times the CD player would hear what he was saying as long as it was turned on. But that's what it was. It had to do with it had to be playing music at the time, but somehow it was bugged, and they got audio off this CD player of him admitting to me, yeah, I was the guy who got away when the Meek Mill shooting happened. Because, like, they caught, like, 3 of the people, and then there was one person they couldn't catch for, like, the longest time. This dude, Michi. And I remember they came and got him. And everyone was like, why'd they come get him for? He don't even really be doing nothing wrong. And it's like, yeah, bro, like, because he was admitting to something they already suspected of him of. And so they sent him back to county for it. Anyways, so that's what I think is most logical, is that because they're gang members, because it was a three-way call, they either got a loss of phone or they got segged up over it. The other option is that they got sent to El Salvador. That's obviously the way more far-fetched option right now. But I still, it's a possibility. Like I said, it's also a possibility this is all a run for content. But if they did get shipped to El Salvador, from what I've heard, that prison is like a black hole. And I've heard that it's thought of Big U is probably going to get sent to that prison in El Salvador. So it might make sense if they put them all there, because they're all under the same indictment. And that prison in El Salvador, I don't think that should even be possible. But, you know, fortunately, unprecedented times and unprecedented means, you know, so whatever, you know. But like I said, I don't know if this is a run for content, like they're just running a play right now, or like to try to keep their name relevant while they fight in a case. I don't know if it's that. The woman on the phone call seems very like coached. It almost seemed like they put her voice in after the phone call, the actual phone call was already, you see what I'm saying? Like they had a phone call with somebody else and they just they dubbed her voice over whoever that someone else was. You know what I'm saying? Like her voice sounded in a way where it's like put in after the fact. Like a lot of people like, she sounded like an actor. So you gotta like think about it like this. Like I said, there's two somewhat logical explanations. One very logical explanation for anyone who's been locked up. They'll tell you that shit that they did. Just putting Bricc Baby on the phone could get your ass a fucking ticket and loss of phone privileges at the very least. So, but I love the way Flacco said it. He said they're missing in prison. Bro, no one goes missing in prison. When they do, it's called escape. And it ends with a lot of people getting fired, their face being plastered all over the news, and people, you know, doing graffiti like "Run, Jerry, run." You know, Jerry was a dude who escaped from my dorm, and like it was a big case, and he was on the run for like a week and a half, and they caught him down south. He did some like whole like Sam Fisher shit too. He like hid under, this is what they say happened. He hid under the box truck. That was like the commissary truck. And listen, oh yeah, and this is the other thing that'll happen. And let me finish this part though. He hid under the thing, like he's literally doing a big ass pull up like this as the truck goes out. Then he rolls out from under the truck. Keep in mind, he already had to jump 4 barbed wire fences to do this. And then somehow met up with someone at a Burger King and bounced down south. So, my bad about the cough. I'm a little bit sick right now. I'm about to get over that though. So, another thing that'll happen too is after this dude Jerry escaped, what was a level 3 facility now became what's known as a level 3-4 sliding facility, meaning it still houses mainly level 3 inmates, some level 4s, but they're all going home. However, it has the security measures of a level 4, meaning the prison got a whole bunch more money to install razor wire and launder some of that money to skim off the top, so he could tell the state, hey, we need $200K for this razor wire that really only cost $90,000. A whole bunch of shit. We used to laugh at him putting up the razor wire because this escape happened right before I got there. You know how it happened? Because the motherfuckers running the dorm just to let it air out in the fucking, when it was nice outside, would leave the back door open. And this bugged out motherfucker Jerry just seen that every day and said, I'm gonna get out of here. Well, I understood. I say bugged out because what I understood, he was really off his shit. Listen, people who's bugged out is some of the most ingenious people. This dude did some whole like prison break shit, like hiding under the truck like this, like he in something. That's just a lone movie or some shit. He thought he was Steven Seagal. Yeah, he thought he was Steven Seagal stunt double in that bitch. Yeah. You know, the stunt double they use just for walking up the stairs in Steven Seagal movies and shit. Like, yeah. So anyway, yeah. I think the most logical thing, if this is true, is that they heard them on a three-way call, or what the prison would consider a three-way call. Because putting another inmate on the phone with someone on your call list is looked at like that. And because they're in a gang, they probably took it a little more seriously than they would have normally. And they said, nope, lost a phone. 30 days, lost a phone. 15 days, lost a wreck. And 1 week, lost commissary. Like, some shit like that. Like, for those of you who know, those are the common stipulations of like, oh yeah, and you get loss of visitation too. That's another one you could get. But that's probably what happened, is that the prison probably knew this call went the way it did, because it's all over social media. That's another thing. And said, these motherfuckers did a three-way call. They forgot the rules in this bitch, huh? So, yeah. Free them, man. Free Ashley. Free Bricc. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that shit was just crazy, bro. I looking at, I'm like, fuck, nobody goes missing in prison. That does not happen. When that happens, people get fired, the prison gets more resources, things get to be more, here we go with the bullshit around here. They start doing this shit, like if it's a facility that doesn't do the mirrors under the cars, they start doing the mirrors under the cars. They start doing the fucking putting up excessive amounts of razor wire. Like, yeah, razor wire on shit you don't even need razor wire on. Who's going to climb a pole to get to a camera? Nobody. So why is there razor wire wrapped around where the top of the pole is, where you could get to the camera at? Are y'all just imagining some fictitious like Hollywood movie style prison riot where it's just people are all over the outside of the compound and like you got people climbing up fucking telephone poles to take fucking cameras off the shit because they're gonna kill somebody or something? Like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? It's just excessive, but they get money to do that when someone goes missing in prison because it's called an escape. Anyways, very interesting thing. I'm like I said, if they not running a play for content, they probably just fucking got busted over using a three-way call and they're either in seg or they got lost a phone. I'm out this bitch.